Alright, so I'm Dan Garcia. This is Eloise's son. This is the bottom of the trailer where the water tank sits. So we're going to go through and show you what I'm seeing. And maybe we can come to a middle conclusion, alright? So this is the spot for the water tank. It's in between this beam, this part of the frame, and this part of the frame. Those zip ties are for, we had to zip tie this plastic piece up to keep it from falling down on the ground for the road. So first things first, looking at this thing, so you can see obvious bend marks. So there's a bend mark here, an obvious bend mark right here, and the biggest one right here. And this is on the front side. This is the front side of the trailer being pulled this way. So front, rear. So this is the first bend here, second bend there, and a third lighter bend here. So now on the back side, here's an obvious bend right there. It's like a little bend right here and a deeper bend right here. So obvious weight potentially, but now this is where it gets a little confusing. I don't understand. So here are the three cross support beams, 1, 2, and 3. Now I don't have specific footage of how it was set before, but each one has holes on these upper arms here, here, and here. So, and it's on both sides. So one of these, I'm guessing, depending on the manufacturer and how you designed it, I don't know, and I can't find anywhere online to show the specs of how this is supposed to be set from the manufacturer out of the factory. So we're going a couple of limbs here to kind of come up with an assessment to say what we think. So, and you look, there's this white, looks like almost like a sticky pad deal, and on the bottom there's a little bit of sticky like residue. So it looks like if it's on by a sticker. I mean, I don't know, but that's what it looks like. Now another thing is though, with these drill holes, there are no big holes anywhere on the bottom of this frame besides here, and you can see plastic around it. That's what held on the bottom of this plastic cover to protect from the rocks and whatnot. Another one here, same purpose, and a little further down here. So to me, what that means is this beam right here has nowhere, as not being bolted on and held on by anything. It's just free floating. So that goes to my first hypothesis of what I think happened, and that is, so here's first cross beam on the driver's side, on the passenger side. Here's the middle, and then here's the driver's side, right? So on the rear side, where these initial bends are, that's where the back placement is. Here, right there in the bend, and also here, there. So we obviously see where the bends are looking at it from the front of the vehicle back. For one, they're already offset and it makes 0 sense. 2, these two bars are the same, have the same bend. This one does not. So I don't know which one went where, if they're flip-flopped, whatever, but one of these has an opposite bend. Okay, so now the theory of what happened is, if you look very closely, this is an approximate straight edge. This is approximately going straight parallel with basically a flat edge next to it, like this. If you look, there's no bend right here. It's still over there with the bend, but the bend is right here. So meaning this bar was stationary in the rear, but in the front this way, right here in this bend, causing an angle. Now who knows where it came from, but shifting of the weight of water, of whatever, this shifted this cross beam. Same thing with the middle cross beam. It's still in this normal groove right over there, hasn't moved. Here it is. it's got a little bend, but then it shifts to this bigger bend this way, and you see it already wiggling. See that little wiggle? That's being pushed over the edge. This is flat. You got wiggle room right there. That is not support whatsoever. So here, and then over on this side, here's bend, and up here, a minor bend right here. You see it shifted over. Everything is in the rear spot where it's supposed to be, and then they all have a extreme bend or slide, if you will. Not really a bend, but more of a slide. Therefore, with the weight of that tank, which is allowed to have water while you're driving, because if you can't have water in the tank while you're driving, you can't go anywhere where it's dry camping, then what's the point? This somehow had too much weight because the bend, the way it was manufactured, it was not securely fastened in one spot like it should be. It shifted, and therefore it popped down as so, putting stress on beam number 2, 3, crash down. So that's theory number 1. Now, the biggest thing that doesn't make any sense either is if this is the way it was manufactured, we don't know yet because I haven't found the information yet and we haven't looked it up. Why is it that this beam right here, this lip, is up into the actual bottom of the tank? To me, that's something that could wear on the tank and therefore cause a hole and then break it, pop it, whatever. So why isn't it, even for overall support, flipped like so, to where this beam is, for one, is flat along with the tank, so it can't cause any holes, no rubbing, no nothing, and also it's driving into the corner of this frame to support it. So that's, for one, the way I think it should be, and also the water would drain, preferably also on a certain bend, to one side where the actual tank is. So, and here's insulation here on the bottom. So I don't know if some of these beams are up like this or not, but if this beam was sitting here, I don't see how this beam was up in the bend, how it could shift. I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense to me unless it's like that. And if it was flipped this way, the way I think it should be, and it probably is, shifted, that's what caused it to go down like so. I mean, simple. So the main problem is the way this came out from the factory. There are no holes in this frame to go along with the holes in these crossbars. Therefore, these crossbars could not be securely fastened to the frame and then shifted with the weight of the tank, with driving, with time, whatever. Shifted, gave crossbeam down number 1, shifted down crossbeam number 2, and then also number 3. So it's not excessive weight. It can't be. No way. It has a drain line. The drain line works. If it was full of water, it came out. And none of this plastic stuff here is designed to hold water. If it was overfilled, it would drain. As simple as that. And even so, if this was attached to the bottom of this frame, there's no holes here, nothing there to hold up this part of the frame, this crossbeam. Therefore, weight in this could not bring that down to a bend. Impossible. No way. Same thing with this right here. There's no hole here to hold up this. So weight in here will not make this bend in any way, shape, or form. So overflow is not the answer. Simple as that. There's no possible way. And also, it's a simple fact that there are no ways to support these beams. They're free sliding. 100% free sliding. I mean, how safe is that? You can't do that. This way or that way, doesn't matter. Either way, these are free sliding. This free slid over to here, and therefore pop down with weight. Simple as that. There's no explanation whatsoever. Either or. This way or that way. Slid, pop down. So the problem is, does not have any kind of thing to fasten this crossbeam. Straight up manufacturer error. Or someone had a bad day and didn't feel like doing it. Somehow, some way, this is not fastened the way it should be. It slid, gave to this big bend, still in the same place, gave away. Number 1, 2, and 3, so on and so forth. So, I'm not a freaking metal worker, but to me it sounds like it needs to be reinforced, drilled hold, and then held on with a solid bolt, nice lag bolt or something with a huge washer to secure this on these frames, tightened, not going to go anywhere, it's sturdy, and it's not going to bend. With that, these will not go anywhere. And if you remove these to get to the tank, it's simple. Freaking socket, take it off, pull these over, slide them, tank comes off, do what you need to do. No welding necessary, it just needs to have reinforced frame, because this needs to get bended up obviously, so a piece of steel across the middle of this on the inside, somewhere up here or something, will have to suffice for extra support. That's your guys' department, I mean not mine, but this is exactly what I'm seeing down here, and this is the view of underneath the trailer that has the tank out that broke. Bend number 1, bend 2 in the frame, and here, bend 3. That's the front part of the trailer. Here's the rear part. Bend number 1 on the driver's side, bend in the frame 2 center, bend number 3 on the passenger side. Obviously they are not straight. Once again, just want to repeat this. They are not straight. This is straight. No bend. Planted. That's where the bend is. Obviously at an angle. Zero support. Shifting. Weight. Gone. This one here. Anchored. One spot. Shifted to this bend right here. Oop, popped out of my hand. Didn't intentionally do that. Came here. Slid. Fell. Same thing on this one. To a certain point, gave out. So now it brings another point too to my little head. Why is it that, you know, these are straight? Why are they so close together? Why are they not spread evenly across the frame to distribute the weight? I mean, method to the madness, I assume, but I'm not too sure. So maybe I have the poles in the wrong spot. I'm not saying this is where they go, but this is just a theory. This is the one that doesn't have the lighter. It's not as a extreme arch, if you will. So that's what we're looking at. This is the issues, and I really hope this type of video will help, because this is giving you the actual picture and not just an immediate assumption that's too much weight. Because there's weight in there, got it. But these beams, especially if they're up this way, will support that weight. But it can't support that weight if they're not parallel with the frame here. That's not parallel, more like perpendicular, but a 90-degree angle to hold that weight securely. That angle, shift, and it's gonna pop down just like that. So obviously, just whoever made it from the factory did not, in my mind, put holes to securely fasten these cross beams to support the weight of the tank. Simple as that. So once again, my name is Daniel. I'm Eloise's son. If you have any questions, I'll leave you a voicemail. Please call me at 209-613-4078. Thank you.